the middle of my sentence. Okay.
Drop it in the middle. You said.
Okay. Just like when you come on, I'm already involved in mid sentence. Okay. There it is.
Oh,
all right.
We here.
All right. Hey,
We're
what's
recording.
going on, bro? Man, let me tell you something. How can you not be a fan of football in Detroit? We have an extra incentive for the Super Bowl Sunday in Detroit. It's like we've been left behind by a former spouse. Matthew Stafford is in the Super Bowl.
Are you
Four
gonna,
and a half 4.5 point favorites.
Are you rooting for him to win?
I
Are you
wasn't.
going to celebrate when he wins?
It's like, yeah.
Oh, I hate you.
I know, man. Yeah, man. I'm going to do it because, I got tired of hearing, like a lot of fans, how great and how gritty and how tough Matthew Stafford was, but yet year after year we lost. He didn't quite make the plays. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. Now he's with a team who plays great defense, has a decent running game, not a great running game, but a decent running game. A good defense.
Ooh, sorry, repeat that. I muted your mic by mistake.
Oh, no problem. They have a good running game. They have a good defense. Stafford made Kupp all-pro, just like he made Calvin Johnson, the greatest ever.
Triple crown.
He made Cooper Kupp, Triple Crown winner.
Won me my fantasy league.
Me too. I understand. I loved it, man. Stafford made the plays necessary to get that team to where they are today.
I agree. However, not trying to really undercut his success, but a lot of his detractors this season will point out that the Rams have an immense amount of talent, and everything around Stafford is pretty perfect. But to Stafford's point, yeah, they brought him in here to get him over the hump for the Super Bowl. Like, the Rams are in Super Bowl or bust mode. The Lions were never, ever good enough to consider that an option.
I got that. But a lot of teams, they don't come to mind right off. But a lot of teams went all in throughout the last couple years of sports. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the Rams are the only one to actually get there.
They went there. They got there and did it.
I remember there was a time where the Eagles signed a bunch of people and didn't even make the playoffs that year. And the Falcons did, and they choked the NFC South away. So to see the Rams do it, man, they were all in.
Shout out to Atlanta, man,
But
for giving up that Super Bowl, man, against New England, man.
Oh, stop. But
jeez.
I do want to bring this up. Don't celebrate when Stafford wins.
I might not celebrate, but I'll feel good for him.
No fan base deserves that kind of pain. Like, Dad, the minute he left Detroit, he won 12 games, a division title, and the NFC Championship game. None of that happened here. He hosted not one, not two. Oh, it was two. He hosted 2 playoff games. Imagine Detroit hosting a playoff game.
It would go crazy. We'd go crazy.
People wouldn't even have to go inside the game. Downtown would be crazy.
Yeah,
and he did it in LA twice. Never happened in Detroit. He's going to the Super Bowl and has an extremely real shot at winning it.
Oh, man, they're up. The line right now is that
they didn't sneak in. Like, they didn't just go on some Cincinnati miracle run. Like, they very much look like one of the 4 best teams in football.
5 days to go to the Super Bowl, and the line is at 4.5.
Detroit fans, please don't celebrate, because no fan base deserves that kind of pain to where you let go of one of your best players, the best quarterback in your franchise's history, and you're like, he didn't do anything here, and then he goes to his new girlfriend and does every single thing. It's like, here comes a marriage analogy. It's like you get that fine girlfriend, the number 1 overall pick, and you develop her. You put her on a whole bunch of dope food spots and TV shows, but, like, she just won't act right for you, and then she breaks up with you in a messy way and then goes to the next dude and does everything that you needed her to do.
Yeah, and then you get your own girlfriend, a former number 1 pick, all right, and he can't do jack.
It's like getting the bad girl at the end of the bar, but you find out she's crazy, and that's why dudes keep passing up on her.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, man. So, shout out to Matthew Stafford, man. I wasn't really on that Matthew train until, just recently, man. I'm happy for the guy, man, and I won't celebrate like that, but a piece of us, man, in the Detroit area, man, and to all the people who said, man, if Stafford went to a real team, he would win. So
And look at what happened.
he's going to a real team. But once again, man, you have to look at the ownership.
Oh, we're doing that.
Yes, you
Oh.
have to look at the ownership.
We'll be here for a hot minute if we're going to talk about.
I mean, I'm not going to go on an extremely long rant about this, but there is some truth to the fact that the ownership of the Lions only cares about the bottom line. As long as you're making money, then everything's okay. Okay? You have some parameters, Mr. GM, that you are not allowed to cross. Okay? Long as the team is making money, you can keep your job. All right? And that's just the way it has been. We continually lose. We can't win the big one. But people pack that stadium every Sunday to see this. Okay? And as long as that happens, the Lions are a success story in the business world. And they will not change a thing. So with that, I'm going to let it go because people who are in the know, they know what I'm talking about, man. As long as you pack in that stadium, man, they're not going to change anything. Okay? We're going into the next year with newfound hope with Jared Goff and our second-year coach, Dan. I don't know how much time is on the clock, Campbell. Go for it on 4th down from our own 25.
Bite your kneecaps off, Campbell.
Come on, man. He made some bad moves, but he's got room to grow. But he is somewhat limited and handcuffed by the ownership, GM, the president, ownership. So long as the Fords have them, they will not be the freelance type organization that the Rams used to get the likes of Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald, okay, Matthew Stafford, okay, Von Miller, all right.
Yeah.
They have a star-laden team.
Yeah. On a side note, though, since you bring that up, are you ever, like you as a fan, just you, they gave up 2 first rounds for Jalen. They gave up 2 first rounds for Stafford. And I know there's other players in there. Oh, yeah, they gave up a first round for Brandon Cooks back in 2018 in their Super Bowl run. Like, they haven't had a first-round pick in, 6 years. Are you, as a fan, okay with that? And it's okay if you say no, because giving up 2 first-rounders for a guy is a tall ask for, a lot of teams.
Do you want to win or don't you?
And
that's going in. That's going all in. That is going in saying, I will mortgage my future for a Super Bowl win, for a shot at a Super Bowl win. All right? McVay went to ownership or however that went and said, wait a minute, if we mortgage our future to win now, is that worth it? And apparently they said yes, and it is paying off in a big way because Sunday from L.A., we'll be watching the Super Bowl. You know what? And another thing, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige, and Kendrick Lamar.
Kung Fu Kenny.
Oh, man. I cannot wait to see that halftime show.
It don't get more L.A. than that.
Man, that's L.A., man. The whole aura of L.A. is going to shine on Sunday, man. I'm telling you, can't wait to see it. Will be glad to be just involved in it, through my television screen, sitting down in my basement. In fact, this is your official invitation, son, if you want to come through.
Good, because I canceled my YouTube TV, and it comes out on that day. So that's my last day of having it. I'd be so mad if it's mid-game, and it's like, oh, looks like you didn't renew your billing. Going to cut it off.
Wow, that's a story in itself, man. But no, I'm going to be watching it, and I'm going to be low-key rooting for Stafford. In my mind, Money Joe Burrow, my new young hero.
Jackpot Joe.
Hey,
that's a bad white boy.
Man right there, man. I like that, man.
That's a bad white boy.
That's a bad white boy right there.
You got it.
He is cool. Joe Cool, man.
You a bad white boy when you knock out the #1 seed and you show up to your press conference in a black turtleneck with JB iced out on your neck.
And the Cardis. You know what, man? Detroit, that's a signature of Detroit wear, okay? That is the Detroit starter kit. If you have on a baseball cap and some Cartier glasses
Don't forget the Gators.
You got to have the Gators. My Detroit players, all right? And you came on with the fur coat.
Shouts out to the hooligans in Brooklyn.
Oh, man. Come on now. Yeah. Can't you see?
We're not about to start doing Biggie.
I know, man. But
the whole song almost rolled up the tongue.
Yeah.
Right. If the hair right. Biggie that.
Hair
Almost
that.
did it.
Yeah,
Almost
you're right, man. Let me tell you.
Stop.
Man, let me tell you. Hey, note to the plaintiff. All right, at my arraignment. Hey, man, listen, the whole thing, man. Give a shout out to. But L.A., I'm glad for you, man. You're on full display on Super Bowl Sunday. Can't wait to see it. You know, but it's not all good. All right.
I'll tell you what. I am so glad you have things to celebrate for football because I didn't. I don't have one thing to celebrate in football. I don't have one thing to celebrate in sports, to be honest with you.
Oh, man, you got to.
We're in Detroit. All our teams suck.
Oh, all our teams suck.
All our teams suck.
But
except
you know
for
what?
DCFC. And, like, I remember Harbaugh didn't take the.
Wake the F up. You know? Shout
Harbaugh
out to
didn't take the
DCFC.
Minnesota Vikings job, and I was pretty tight about it.
Oh, man,
On
look,
that plane,
back to Michigan.
all perfumed up, ready like, yeah, I'm out. And the Vikings were like, hey, so what's your plan? And Harbaugh was like, I bet, just like you said, he probably dropped the N-word.
He probably dropped the N-word in the interview. That's probably why he didn't get the job.
They were like, hey, we're going to build our team around Justin Jefferson. And he was like, that nigga?
That hippity hop nigga with the silver teeth?
Oh, hippity hoppity gritty nigga? And they was like, enjoy your flight back to Ann Arbor.
For sure, man. Then he comes back. You know what? I changed my mind. I'll fuck with you niggas.
Oh, even worse. He came back like, I'm committed now. I'll never do this again.
Mm-hmm.
I left for leverage. I'm like, bro, just say nobody wants you in the NFL.
Yeah,
Nobody
you blew
likes
the interview. How about that, Harbaugh? You blew it. They hired
Nobody
a coach
wants
the
you.
next day.
Oh, and the Vikings job, by the way, since you brought up the Lions earlier today, a lot of people do at times consider the Lions a pretty attractive job because ownership is pretty hands-off.
Okay.
They kind of let you just do what you want. The Vikings are a terrible job to take right now. You have Kirk Cousins, a quarterback you have to pay like $40 million a year. Nobody wants him. You have the oldest roster in football, and you are in salary cap hell. I think they're $60 million over.
Wow.
They have to tear it. They're going to be just like the Lions were last year. They'd be lucky to win 3 or 4 games.
You know what? What's funny about that? And I'm sorry, this is my Detroit fan coming out of me. All right? I hope Aaron Rodgers leaves. Okay?
Please, God.
Because if Aaron
Please, God.
Rodgers leaves Green Bay, then our division will be we have to tear it down, Minnesota, the Chicago Bears, the Detroit Lions, and an Aaron Rodgers-less Green Bay Packers squad.
Yes. Nobody on the Packers scares me.
Do you
Aaron
know
Rodgers.
6-10 could likely win this division next year?
All right. 1, you brought that up. And 2, yes, it could.
Hey,
The best
I'm
team,
sorry. That's
best
the only
team in
thing.
this division if Aaron Rodgers leaves is the Bears. And the Bears aren't really any good.
Right. No, right. That's what I have to look forward to as a Lions fan. But, you know, it's not all good in football because I've got to bring this up since we're talking about football. We're not going to spend that much time.
Oh, we here in Black History Month.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're in the 7th day of the 28 days we get to celebrate Black History. So let's get it.
What more do you guys want? You get 28 days.
Right. You got 28
we
days
Black
to get
Lives
all your
Matter
history.
on the sidewalk.
You get your 28 days, make them count.
Nancy Pelosi took a knee. What more do you guys want?
Hey, I have to give a shout out to this year's Colin Kaepernick, okay? One Mr. Brian Flores.
Ooh, I got to read. Let's get into it.
Okay.
I got stuff for it. On Tuesday, the first day of Black History Month, former Miami Dolphins head coach Brian Flores sued the NFL for racial discrimination. The groundbreaking class action lawsuit seeks to rectify decades of hiring discrimination in coaching positions throughout the league. Flores' bombshells, including Flores' allegation that Dolphins owner Stephen Ross offered him $100,000 per loss to tank the season and tried to get him to illicitly poach a top quarterback via an accidental, air quote, meetup on Ross's yacht.
Wow.
I want to point out, because people do get this confused all the time, I cannot stand when a lot of black people say, hey, look, they brought me in as a token just to make themselves look good. And then a lot of these white folks get confused and go, well, the best candidate should get the job. I don't understand. If you're just not good enough to get the job. You shouldn't. Check this out. I want you pull up the highlights of any NFL game and count the number of black players on that field. Now count the number of black coaches in the league. There's one. That's Mike Tomlin playing for the best organization in football.
Yeah.
One.
Preach.
The numbers of the amount of black coaches we have are less than the Rooney Rule, which was intended to get more black coaches.
Preach.
At what point did the NFL decided at one point, hey, we're not having enough black head coaches. We're going to institute the Rooney Rule. For those unfamiliar, the Rooney Rule is for every head coaching vacancy, you must interview one person of color for the job.
Absolutely.
NFL said, yeah, sure, that's cool.
We will do that.
We still have one black head coach. One in a league.
That
where
is
like 80% of the players are black.
truth. Facts.
Think about that for a hot second. You would think we'd trip and fall over ourselves and get at least 3.
For sure.
3, like, we look at what we're asking for.
I was just thinking. The turnover. We're in the middle of the turnover. If Brian Flores had not come out this year and pulled a Colin Kaepernick, because I truly believe, now I hope I'm wrong, all right, but I think he literally blackballed himself out of NFL coaching possibilities.
Correct. And
all right.
That is the unfortunate part.
But he has to stand up, because just like Colin stood up and said, wait a minute, it's like this, all right? And we all know, we're all familiar with the Colin Kaepernick story, and he got blackballed. We're not going to have that. And for this guy to come out and call out an owner, I mean, wow. You know, it's players who knows this kind of stuff goes on, the game within the game of the league. All right, that's why we don't have black coaches. Oh, you can come over and we'll talk to you, okay? It's just like having a job. We'll work with you, but once we punch out, you go that way and I'll go this way, okay?
You're dealing, number one, with a bunch of billionaires, and billionaires never like being told what to do. You're dealing with a bunch of those guys who were children when segregation was a thing. Their parents were out there hosing down black people for marching in the street trying to vote. I want to put that in perspective.
True.
They were like 10 and 12
True.
back during those times. Now they own teams. And if you want to say, oh, the NFL is not racist, well, then cool, we can go on the whole nepotism route because, ooh, I'm going to bring you up. I'm going to bring this one up to you, Dad.
Ooh, I know you're going to mention this name. I know the nepotism name of the NFL.
Oh, I'm going to bring this one up.
Ooh.
How many Shanahans?
Say that.
Think about this.
Say that.
In Flores, before I move on to how my Detroit Lions were peak nepotism, Flores took over a bad Dolphins team with an injured Tua who wasn't supposed to start his rookie year. his shoulder was still hurt.
True.
They knew that.
If I'm not mistaken, they won 7 in a row at one point this year.
This year they won 7 in a row. Their defense wasn't any good. Their line wasn't any good.
Tua is your quarterback.
I think Tua's pretty good, but the point is, Tua was hurt his rookie year and shouldn't have been played. This year is a development year. The whole team still sucks. The Dolphins are expansion level bad, and they still had a pretty good year. He was fired after that.
Right.
Which shows that teams have such a short leash for black coaches.
Could it be some of this stuff was coming out already?
Yeah. Oh, mind you, they were talking about getting Deshaun Watson all year. The guy who might be going to jail. Because at this point, nobody knows if he can keep his hands to himself during massages.
I'm inclined to believe that some of this stuff that Brian Flores is saying already leaked out during this past year. He just kept his mouth shut. And I am of the belief that they said, after this year, get rid of this. Boo-hoo.
Yeah.
Get rid of him because he's causing too much trouble right now. And lo and behold, he comes out and he sues the NFL on what we know to be true. They made a rule called the Rooney Rule.
Talk about it.
So we know this to be true. This is facts. This is documented facts. I heard, now I don't know how true this is. I heard Jim Caldwell didn't take any trips. I've been on this perspective coaching carousel my whole career. I'm not going anywhere. You're not going to hire me.
Wow.
Okay? So he declined so many offers to go interview, and lo and behold, he doesn't have a job either. Jim
Wow.
Caldwell. Now, I am sure that the turnover, the young coaches coming up, the young white coaches, I might add, their age groups, they're getting younger and younger, while black prospective head coaches are getting older and older.
Talk about it. I'm so glad you brought up Jim Caldwell. Can I bring this up?
Go right ahead.
Okay, cool. I don't want to slow your momentum. You rocking out on the A mic today, by the way.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Check this out. Here is the prime example of NFL nepotism. If what we brought up doesn't signify racism yet. Jim Caldwell was the head coach of the Detroit Lions for 4 years, I believe. In those 4 years, he had 2 playoff appearances, yeah?
Yeah.
For a team that had only had one since like 1993,
Yeah.
my birth year, playing at
Right.
the Silverdome. So Jim Caldwell was the most successful coach in Lions history, to be honest with you, in 4 years. He had a bad last year, and he was fired. Did I agree with him being fired at the time? Yeah. I felt that Jim Caldwell had took this team as far as he could take them.
Okay.
It seemed, because context matters, it seemed that Caldwell was the coach to get you to knocking on the door of the playoffs. So when they fired him, there's the expectation that the next guy is the one to get you over the hump. Here's where the nepotism problem comes in. Were they wrong for firing Caldwell? Some people say yes, some people say no. The issue is our general manager, one Bob Quinn, who was the New England Patriot before he came to Detroit the year before.
Oh, man.
He fired Jim Caldwell not to make the team better. He sacrificed Jim Caldwell to bring in a New England guy, Matt Patricia.
Ouch.
Now, for those of you that don't know what I'm saying, he fired Jim Caldwell to bring in his guy. Mind you, Jim Caldwell went 9-7 and missed the playoffs that year.
Good
so
team.
when they're doing all this interviews, they brought in the one black dude, Terrell Austin, who was our defensive coordinator at the time. Terrell Austin knew they weren't going to hire them.
He knew it.
And that's the point.
They all know it.
When these white dudes in power fire someone, they already know who they're going to bring in.
Absolutely.
9 times out of 10. There is no, we're going to interview a pool of guys that are old, a pool of guys that are young. This guy's from college. This guy, he's a defensive-minded guy. He's an offense, and we're just going to see what we get. These niggas know who they want.
Already.
And it's never a black person. And that's what we're talking about.
Even the coaches who passed up on these interviews, they know themselves. They have coaching grapevines. Word leaks out among themselves. They know who's getting what job.
Say that again. That's such a good point.
Right. They have coaching grapevines. And these guys already know. They talk amongst themselves. They already know, hey, look, man, I'm getting that job. Don't even get on that plane, man, and go over there, man. I'm getting that job, man. Me and you go way back, man. Hey, man, I'll try to bring you on. And maybe we can see if we can do something then.
And I tell you something that kind of it hurts even more and is depressing. A lot of these black coaches, when they do get interviewed for a job and they know the job is terrible, teams in cap hell, owners a dickhead, fan base don't sell out the stadium, they still have to take the job because there's that very real chance you might not ever get an interview like this again.
Again. For sure. And there's a real,
so they get the
that's
short,
true.
So black coaches consistently get the short end of the stick.
Yeah, you're not going to fall. There is no one. All right, first of all, if your team's done well, you're not firing the coach to begin with. All right? Black coaches have to, or any coach, not just black coaches, any coach coming in for the last year or any job, the coach got fired because there's major problems. You're not going to the playoffs. Just a field goal short of the Super Bowl, and they fire the coach. Okay? You're coming into a maze of problems. All right? And I don't know why that it's like this, but it is. And the powers that be have let this run to the point where a man had to literally blackball himself All right. Once again, shout out Brian Flores. Man, that kind of bravery, man, people just don't show every day. Okay? Because you literally taking the chance of blackballing yourself from your job to bring up for the good of the people. And for that, I commend you, sir.
And he knows it too.
And he knows.
They asked him straight up, like, "Do you think you'll ever coach again after this?" And he was like, "No, I don't think so. But something has to change."
Ouch, man. That is bravery that I don't have. Okay, so I have to commend you for that, sir.
Lovey
All right,
Smith.
because this is
Sorry, go
Lovey
ahead.
Smith is getting ready to get a job.
No, I'd say
You know he's getting ready to get a job.
No, the Texans are. They have to because they want to hire a journeyman quarterback whose best qualification is head coaching a high school team.
Will Deshaun Watson ever play in this league again?
Yes, the NFL will forgive everything. They just waiting for the suit to go away.
Okay.
The NFL watched Ray Rice beat his girlfriend in the elevator, gave him 2 games. Then the video came out.
And now we
They
had a
were like,
black
"Oh,
boy.
you
Hey,
gotta go."
our hands are tied. All right, so just
But
our
I
hands are tied
remember-
on this one.
And it's just, again, the plight of black coaches. Lovey Smith, he was fired from the Bears after winning 10 games that season, missing on the playoffs.
Wow.
10 games.
Wow.
Now, a lot of people felt that Lovey Smith had gotten stale. The team just wasn't progressing. Fair point. Fair point. Chicago, was a much more talented team than, he took them. He went to Tampa Bay. The first year, sucked, #1 pick. The second year, they got #1 overall pick, a one Jameis Famous Winston.
Ooh.
Still sucked, got fired. At what point does any of that scream fairness to you? You have a rookie quarterback in the #1 overall pick, and it's like, you're fired.
Right. We're
And that's
going
the
in a different
short leash
direction.
black coaches are talking about. And who they hire after Lovey Smith? Some bum. They had to fire him in 2 years.
Oh, that brings up Gruden. Speaking of jumping on the grenade,
Oh
man,
my God.
John Gruden, man.
All right, you know what?
You know how they found. You
almost got me on a rant about the Raiders. I hope if the Raiders go 0-17 for the rest of my life, it won't be enough for me. I want them to crater.
Let me tell you something. That brings that brings me up into conspiracy theories, man.
Oh,
I have one for you, man. You know they weren't even looking for John Gruden when this whole fiasco came about, this text message thing.
Okay.
They were investigating.
Let me give the listeners some background before you do it, because I know you got something juicy. I want to make sure everybody knows. So, the Washington football team, the
Commanders now.
I
They're
hate
the
that name.
Commanders.
That's so stupid.
Well, you want to be the Redskins?
So Washington. I mean, no, I don't want to be the Redskins, but like the Commanders is so dumb.
What you would rather be than Washington niggas?
At what point do I say I hate the name and you just start jumping with offensive terms? At what point? At what point?
You know
I'm just
what I
like,
mean?
oh, I hate the
Washington Crackers. What
See,
are you gonna be?
what are you doing?
Because you have offensive
I gotta
names.
stop this. We gotta stop. No, bad on you.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, the buttons are close to you. Today. You can hit
Okay.
those. No, I hate the name Commanders, and you just start naming slurs.
Okay.
Like, no, they could
okay.
just name themselves the Tigers or something like every other team.
Well,
Anyway.
they wanted to keep it Washington. They wanted to keep it military.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right.
because we don't do enough of that in this country.
Yeah, they wanted to keep it Washington. They wanted to keep it military. So the Washington Commanders is
God.
what they came up with.
You know
You
what?
knew it was going to be something like that.
Another team. The Washington team could go 0-17 for the rest of my life, and it wouldn't be enough. I want them to crater.
What about the Chiefs?
Actually, I don't mind them. That's a good fan base.
Okay.
But so Washington team, their owner Dan Snyder, universally hated. Boo this man. He was under investigation. Well, him and his team for creating a toxic workplace environment, an unsafe work culture for women, especially because any women beat writer touching them, inappropriate comments, making the entire cheerleading team pose topless, or that's your job.
True.
Which I don't know what you guys know about that. Very unlawful. So as the National Football League was investigating him, and they came out with this little nugget of information because they'll never hold any of their guys accountable, they have their findings in a nice, neat little document, and it is up to one Dan Snyder to decide whether or not the NFL should go public with this information. Hey, Dad, I have this book of damning information about you, and should it get out, I'll probably ruin your life. Should I send it out? You have full say on this one.
How about
I'll answer
no?
that for you. No! Of course you're going to say no. The boys' club of the league protecting itself again.
I think not, trick ass bitch.
One of the 32 billionaires gets to say whether or not the toxic work environment he created gets to be made public. If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about this league, I don't know what does. Why do I like this sport?
I don't know how many
God.
thousands and thousands of text messages were on that report.
But anyway, sorry, John Gruden, go ahead.
But Gruden was on there saying, I don't know. Man, this nigga be tripping. I don't know. What did he say? What did he say? Okay. Of the 600,000 plus emails they were investigating, they have a couple with John Gruden saying, man, this nigga be tripping, man. Come on, man. Throw the ball to that nigga. Something. And
Hey,
he
John
takes
Gruden.
the fall.
Hey, John Gruden, we didn't like your game plan. Reply all, fuck them niggas.
Right. Right. This is the guy who takes the fall. I would love in the coming years for that movie or that documentary to come out, how they decided that you're going to take the fall for this. All right? Because they weren't even investigating Gruden. They were investigating Washington Commanders, the Redskins at the time, and Snyder and the toxic work environment. And how did Gruden get caught up in that? All right, to the point where he was like, hey, he said the N-word. What? A white man, a white football coach said the N-word. That never happens.
What?
What?
All America tells me is racism is dead.
Oh, gosh.
All I've ever heard is how
That's
racism is a
awesome.
lie.
That's awesome how Gruden had to take the fall for that. Okay? And in the coming years, I'll be waiting for the documentary or the movie. All you aspiring movie writers or playwrights or screenwriters, please, that would be a story that would definitely get viewers.
John Gruden saying the N-word in an onstage play would be funny.
Yes.
I'm just imagining
How about
in
them?
Hamilton.
In Hamilton, yeah. right.
I'm just imagining
Right.
Oh, my
God. Right, when they wrote down the preamble.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Niggas get free? Wait a minute. We got to scratch this and write it over again.
Even not even funnier, but an additional thing was that the head of the NFL Players Union is a black dude. And Gruden said something that actually is objectively funny, but it's still pretty racist. He said the black man, head of the Players Union, quote, lips as big as Michelin tires.
Hey, awesome. And we will say that.
Like, that.
Listen,
That's funny.
I'm
but
sorry.
Like, John, you can't.
You can't say it. You know what? You know why he could? Because he hears it all day long in that circle.
And I guarantee you, he said things just like that in person, and nobody
said a word. Just like my man, this dude, man. His name's not the wrestling dude.
Wrestling dude.
Yeah, man, who they taking off Spotify, man. The guy they taking off Spotify.
Joe Rogan?
Man, did you see?
I don't want to talk about Joe Rogan.
Did you see how many episodes they took off that he said the word nigga?
Oh, like I think they took 100.
Man,
if memory serves me right, he said the N-word in one, and then they had somebody comb through all the ones where he said something pretty offensive to black people in all of them, and it came out to like just shy of 100 or just over.
You know, Joe Rogan, if you're out there and you ever get earshot of this, man, I don't give a damn what you said. Okay, actually, I want to tell you something. I don't want to
turn you up for this because I know what you're about to say.
I'm not even going on a rant for this. I'm not going on a rant for this, but I'm going to tell you one thing. For all you cats out there that use the word, all right, that you've come accustomed to know and to love, all right, go ahead and say it. I would rather face the enemy I can see than the enemy I can't see, all right? Go ahead, man. If you were to actually mute every white person who said the word nigga, this world will be silent. Every household has somebody in that family who uses that word. All right, let's not act like this is a new word and it's so offensive we can't use it. I would rather face the enemy, I know what you're about, all right, than for you to go underground and be an enemy I can't see. So I'm going to let it go with that, man. I don't really care what you say. I know I can't fuck with you because that's how you feel about me, okay? Well, you take that over there and I'll live my life over here, okay? So we'll move on to that, because these conspiracy theories, man, that come out all the time about blacks and whites and we keeping the black man down and you niggas do this and blah, blah, blah. Man, I just had to get into the segue about conspiracies, man.
Yeah. I was talking to Dad, and I was like, what you talking about? My idea is this. Well, number one thing I want to say, because I had to get this on my chest. A lot of black folks are conservatives. Don't let how people talk get the game fucked up. A lot of black folks are conservative. You ask a lot of black folks about gay marriage. Oh, that's gross. A lot of black folks, hey, how we gonna help poor people out? Go to work like I did.
Okay.
Interesting reaction. Hey, we got shootings every other day. We got people shooting each other over blocks. We got school shootings. How do you feel about that? Oh, I'm keeping my guns. All right, that's your solution then. A lot of black folks are conservative. All right. Just because they don't vote red don't mean they ain't got the same values.
You know what? I'm going to go on record and say I'm not calling black people dumb. Let's get that out here because I know a lot of smart people, okay? But a lot of black folks are too scared to admit they're conservatives.
Ooh, that's a bar.
Okay?
I agree with you on that.
I understand that because in the words of the most underrated president in the history of this country, Lyndon Baines Johnson, okay?
Whole name.
Because that's my guy, man, because he said it best. Man, come on, you got to give these niggas something or you're going to lose this country, all right? Civil Rights Act.
Ooh, and that
Civil
exactly
Rights
what he said is true. We see it so much more today.
Because if you give these niggas something, they will vote Democrat. Their kids, their kids' kids, their grandchildren's grandchildren will vote Democrat the rest of their lives. And that's what we're doing. We vote Democrat so much, we don't know why we're doing it. All right? We just voted for Joe Biden. If you just pull up a history of Joe Biden comments and laws through policy and procedure, you would be like, it's no way I'm voting for this guy. You just voted because you didn't want Donald Trump.
Correct.
All right? I get it.
I wanted Sanders, and they spit in my face and gave me Hillary.
Okay.
I wanted Sanders again. They spit in my face again and told me Biden.
Right. You just voted against Trump. You might not. You might have voted for Biden, man. But if you pull up Biden's record on procedure and policy, it definitely is not pro-black.
Oh, to be completely fair, Dad, I feel like if you gave people a chicken sandwich on the ballot to vote for, we'd have voted for the chicken sandwich over those two. A vast majority of people that voted for Biden were very much anti-Biden. I guarantee that. How do I know that? Because I'm one of them.
Yeah. But you were more anti-Trump. All right?
Significantly so.
Because Trump got these cats fired up enough to rush the Capitol.
I'll tell you what, Dad.
All right?
Yes, see, there you go. While, yes, Trump is very honest.
Yeah.
I don't think Trump told a lie yet.
Yeah. For sure.
While I do hate Biden almost as much as I hate Trump, I don't have to worry about Biden accidentally starting a world war.
Right, for sure. Because,
Biden's just going to poop himself and not be with the Pope.
Oh, right. Yeah. While Trump, I have these guys running in the Capitol looking to hang Mike Pence or so. You know what I mean? I was just listening. You know, they just sentenced another guy in the kidnapping of Jennifer Granholm. Okay.
The attempted kidnapping.
Well, yeah. I mean, not Granholm. Sorry. Whitmer.
Yeah, Gretchen Whitmer.
Yes, Miss Whitmer. I apologize, Miss Granholm and Mrs. Whitmer. Okay. But they just sentenced another guy. Well, actually, this guy's getting ready to turn state's evidence. If you know anything about the law, he's cooperating, and he's going to tell on everyone else, and that's all you need.
Oh, we know that in the community. Oh, he giving everybody up.
He getting ready to get stitches.
He giving it up.
Okay, he's going to let it be known. But you know the FBI set them fools up too. All right, you know the FBI had cats inside that organization. That's why the kidnapping never went down.
You know what? You know, I'm sorry, I'm going to let you finish, but you did bring up something else that I
I'll
read
go right
about a
ahead,
month
man.
ago. No, I don't want to get too far off because we do got to get into conspiracies. But I remember reading an article the other day where a study came out. Not study. I think it might have just been a report. So I want to get the word right. And it was someone saying that there are so many white supremacists that are in the judicial system.
For sure.
That are judges, that are especially police officers. And that was a good drop for it. You just hit the blue button. And the quote that I think this person gave was, "It's so much more of a problem than anyone wants to admit it is."
For sure it is.
And like, cause you know, being a person of color, like being a black person, we certainly see that it looks a lot of the time like they just got it out for niggas.
Hey,
like it looks like
they
a lot of the time
always
just got it
have.
out
You
for
were
niggas.
slaves once. Hey, can I tell you something? This is my theory
Oh,
as to why they didn't shoot.
or is this a conspiracy?
Of course it is. I'm going to get in a segue in this, but
All
you're
right.
going to, hey, this is why they didn't shoot the crowd up when they tried to rush the on January 6th.
I'm interested.
Too many cops in the crowd.
Too many. Wow.
Yeah, too many cops in the crowd. Okay, they didn't
Fair
want to kill
point.
their own.
I'll tell you why. Actually, my idea was, I'm not going to say that you're wrong because January 6th is a day that had me shooketh.
At first it was funny, but then it wasn't. It was funny until it wasn't.
DC called the National Guard, which Trump has to sign off of. Like DC doesn't have their own state police. They have like 5 guys in uniforms. And you know how every white person thinks of the main character. They all thought they were there doing something right. They thought they were really changing history.
Yeah.
Like you and I, we saw it as a bunch of Nazis taking over, which is what it was. But they saw it like they were tearing down the Berlin Wall.
Yeah, for sure.
They thought they were tearing down, like they thought they were being a part of like the good history.
Yeah, because you cheated the election, and we're going to change it back like our forefathers would have.
God, I got so tired of talking to people about that because if you want to talk about Trump about Biden cheating the election, Dad, check this out. Here, let me give you some stats.
Give me them.
Like
I
a
love
sports
stats. You know I love them.
Do you know who got the most votes all time in the presidential election?
Can I say Barack Obama?
No, actually.
Okay.
The presidential candidate who got the most votes all time was Joe Biden.
That's this year?
No, yeah, that was when Joe Biden became president. He got the most
Wow.
votes a president has ever gotten. Do you know who got the number 2?
Trump.
In the same election.
Yeah. Okay.
In the same election.
Yeah.
Like, do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
But that
They
is
got out and
also-
voted. Yeah.
That's also a part of the Republican fear. That's why they don't like blacks, not black.
Oh.
That's why they make voting so hard for a
Oh,
lot
my
of
gosh.
communities that tend to not vote red is because there are more people that align on the blue side than the red. Democrat or Republican, we're not talking about that now. There are more people that are left than right, and they know very acutely that
Right, where they
when
located.
more people vote, and it's easier for people to vote, they tend to lose elections.
Yes.
They are very aware of that fact.
Yes. If they put a
Like,
voting.
when Obama got the
Right.
vote, like black communities everywhere were doing everything. That was our Jesus.
Yeah,
Like,
that was our
Obama-
moment. That was our moment
Like,
to tug up.
And
You know what I
and
mean?
when they saw that black vote triple, they were like, we got to stop
Yeah.
that one.
So they said,
Not a
hey,
conspiracy.
take the election booths away from the liquor stores and lottery lines, and put them out near the Krogers out in the rural areas. Make it hard for them to get there.
Do you know how segregated Detroit is?
Ooh,
Milwaukee is just as bad. Wisconsin.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
else is bad? Minneapolis.
oh man, they just killed
You think
another
it's
guy.
You think it's some nice little ho-hum cold
Man,
town. They get down.
They get down. Hey, did you see the video of
You know what?
the
You know
latest
what?
shooting,
I
man?
have to
Amir.
apologize real quick for saying they get down, equating to they're very racist.
Yeah.
I have to apologize for
Yeah.
that.
Hey, man, they went in there
Oh,
in
I
my
saw
man's apartment. Now, details are still coming out about, because, I want to know every little detail. Why do you have a key to this man's apartment? Why did you come in there at 7 a.m. in the morning and it's 10 of you guys, it looks like? And my man is sleeping with his gun up under the cover on his couch, literally guarding his front door. Okay? Literally guarding his front door when they came. They had a key.
Because I couldn't tell myself from the video, did it look like the officers were in officer clothing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Screaming at the top of their lungs, police. But we all know that's how they get you anyway.
That's how they get you anyway. No,
Guys, because criminals never kick in doors screaming to be the cops.
Oh, because and that's what frustrates me, because every person that is super back the blue is going to say, oh, well, they had a right to shoot him. He was reaching for a gun. Let me tell you something. Find me a person that doesn't reach for their weapon when someone kicks your door in at 7 in the morning and just shouts.
Yeah,
you are
for
in
sure.
Fight or flight mode.
For sure.
There is no, oh, I think it's the officers. I can go ahead and put my hands up.
They're all hollering. They're all hollering. How do you expect this man to pick out one voice when 4 guys hit the door hollering, get down, police, whatever you're hollering? How do you expect him to pick out one voice out of all that?
That was my same issue when they were talking about Breonna Taylor's boyfriend. He had a gun pointed at the cops. He is asleep. He sees people in his house. What do you want him to do?
You can't differentiate one voice from another.
He doesn't get more Second Amendment than that.
Yeah, that he can't. You know what? And you know what? I don't want to bring up Breonna Taylor, but I'm going to do it anyway because she's just as much a part of this history lesson about police shootings as George Floyd. You know what I mean?
Ever going to be bitter about how they did Breonna Taylor.
Man, let me tell you something.
Forever.
I would listen to some of the statistics and some of the details that happened in that case, and I still, and what hurts my feeling the most is a small little detail. All right, that she had 3 to 4 bullet holes in the bottom of her feet, man. All right, that hurt my feelings because they dropped her and just kept firing at her body on the floor, man.
I am forever going to be bitter about that one.
Oh my gosh, man, that is a hell of a story, man.
Charged for the bullets that didn't hit her.
Yeah,
he was charged for firing into the house.
Yes, and
not for killing the person in it,
but for firing in the next apartment. Yeah,
forever.
Oh yeah,
wrong house, by the way.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Forever,
for sure, man. Came in, man. That's hurt. That hurts.
Can't argue with people after that.
All right.
That's how people defending that.
And you wonder why black people are non-trusting to the point where they have. It's this conspiracy theory. Now let me ask you something.
Okay.
Is this conspiracy theory right here?
Let's hear it.
Black people don't trust banks and doctors.
No, because both of those have actual merit. Banks I'm interested in. Doctors I completely understand.
Oh, well, the Tuskegee experiment is turned off. You know, if you ever heard about that.
Can we not?
I'm just saying that has a big part.
We in too big depression territory today.
That's a big part, though. That's a big part of the conspiracy theory.
Let's not deep dive.
Okay,
you're correct.
All right, they're telling you they're treating you for this, and then they say we gonna let this thing grow in you to see what it actually does.
Yeah. Oh,
all right. Not only that, American soldiers.
I'll tell you what. The father of gynecology. Most of what we know about the woman's body came because he was experimenting on black women. Because, quote, we don't believe the Negro woman feels pain. That shit is real. Look it up.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That wasn't like one of the first couple paragraphs I read of that, and I put the rest of the thing down. And I'm like, all right, once I hear this quote, I know I'm not going to be able to handle anything else.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I don't know the young woman's name that a movie was made about or a book was written about, but she killed her doctor who was sexually abusing her. who was experimenting on her back in the 40s, 50s, or something. And I'm going to bring that up because I don't know, and it doesn't come to mind what your name is right now, but it will. And I apologize. I'm going to bring it up in a future telecast. But they led American GIs to believe that they were curing a disease when they, in fact, were letting a disease run rampant through their bodies to experiment on them to see the results. All right? That's a big story called the Tuskegee experiment, if you want to look that up.
No, can we not?
Okay, but that is why it's conspiracy theories. Here's another conspiracy theory.
I wouldn't call. I will tell you that no, those are not conspiracy theories. Like black people not trusting banks, I can understand because a lot of, well, not my grandparents, but your grandparents certainly were denied bank accounts.
Absolutely, and keep the money in them.
Just because, you black? You know that money ain't no good here. You know where your money is good? Back the way you came. Yeah, no, I totally get that. Doctors, I understand completely. Although I am a part of the black men, we gotta start going to the doctors.
Right.
There's a lot of black men. We'll just be all right until body parts start falling off.
Right.
And even then,
you know what?
Hey, throw my shoulder back up. We'll be all right.
You know what me and my boy used to say? Shout out to my boy Rod Shelby, rest in peace. One of the funniest guys, man, I've ever known in my life, man. He's passed on, he's going on to glory, as they say, but he always used to say, man, black men don't go to the doctor till the dick's falling off, okay? He always used to say that, man. You know, it was funny, man. That guy was hilarious.
He accurate, though.
And it was accurate facts. That's what make the truth is stranger than fiction. Based on what we were going to talk about today when I was going over my notes when we was doing the pre-production meeting, I made me an appointment to go to see the doctor. And I'm going to tell her, I haven't been to see you. Yeah, I'm going to the doctor. And I said, why haven't I seen you, Mr. Guest? She's going to say. And I'm going to say, because black people don't trust doctors.
You got to look at her and go, you know why.
You know why. Is it a conspiracy that black people shouldn't trust doctors? Okay? Because that's why. It has to be a certain amount of truth in that, because nothing's been wrong. I've been in pretty good health over the last couple years. And that's why I haven't been back. 2 years.
That's why you got to go.
And that's why I have to go. We end up there.
I have to find a doctor.
And
I don't even know where to start.
Hey, see?
I'm going to call somebody.
You have to.
First person to pick up the phone, you're my doctor.
You're my doctor.
You're my care provider.
Just hope the cab driver that took you over there is not the doctor, okay? Because black men, we have to get checked out. You have to find somebody you eventually trust. And I don't want to sound preachy and get all that, man, but we have got to get better medical care. We have got to get better sex education in our lives.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay? We just can't go out here, as my man used to say, putting your shit out on the crap table. Okay?
I'm glad you brought that up, because I have to share one of the most ignorant tweets I've ever seen with you. And there's been a lot of shitting on black women the past couple months. I'm not a fan.
Okay. All right.
Protect black women.
All right. For sure.
And
shout out to mom and the wife.
Tweet about a brand new type of surgery where a lot of women are getting their vagina lips.
What?
Cut off. Not cut off literally. That's just the best way I could say it. You've seen vaginas before where they're
nice flappy. Nice.
All right, can we not?
Okay.
I asked you to not do the Tuskegee experiment.
Right. There you go. There you go. Okay. You mean they've had the lip reduction?
Yes, actually. A lot of porn stars get it because, the ideal, and I say this with air quotes for our audio-only listeners, is the one that just has no lips and it's just like a straight slit. So surgery is to just get them removed. This is nothing new, nor is it uncommon.
I didn't know. This is the first I've ever heard about that.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, no, a surgery is to just get women's lips removed. A lot of women are insecure about that because when you look at porn, you see just
Yeah.
The ideal vagina. I say with air quotes again.
Wow.
So
I guess I really didn't really.
Yeah. I mean, there's a surgery for everything. But so one of the most ignorant tweets I saw beneath that was, and this is why I said we need better sex education in the black community, because I imagine this was said in a joking way, but then there were too many tweets that agreed with it. And the quote was,
all right.
I see bitches getting their miles cut off now. Like as if you get more lips the more dudes you've been with. I saw that and I like again I say I like all types of jokes. But I have that ability to look at a joke and I'm like, "Oh, is this how you really feel? You're just masking it as a joke? Like are you actually an a-hole or like are you just making a joke poke that person?"
Wow,
that joke, I was just like, I'm like, that's not funny. I find that to be in poor taste. And then there were too many tweets beneath it talking about yeah, man, girls out here getting blown out, and then they could pay a couple grand for the surgery. I'm like, all right, y'all pissing me off. We're not doing that. We are not doing that. We are not doing that.
Wow.
So my whole point is about better sex education. You got dudes out here thinking.
Yeah.
And she got a couple bodies, and now all of a sudden, she got lips. That's not how that works.
Yeah.
That's not how any of this works.
Okay, I got you. You know what?
That is not how any of this works.
That is
that's a lot
news.
Of black men, we just don't believe in shit or believe the wrong shit.
Yeah. I never heard that, and I consider myself to be.
How many times have you heard a black dude say something like she got pregnant? No, nigga, y'all got pregnant. She don't just pop up. You think she just wake up like? You think she just wake up, sneeze like, "Ooh, child, I'm pregnant"? No.
That is absolutely
mad,
true. Absolutely true. You put me up on that.
And I say this, and I say better sex education because it's proven that when you educate your children about sex, they're less likely to have young and unplanned pregnancies, and they go up to have better sex lives because they understand what it is.
Right.
But too many of I've shit on a lot of black parents this pod, so I'm not going to do it today. But too many black parents and black elders will just be like, whenever their kids ask them about it, "Oh, stop it, you being fast."
Okay.
Or you trying to grow up too fast. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Imagine if I'm 15, like, "Hey, Dad, what it's like?" You looked at me like, "Nigga, if you don't go play Xbox or something."
Well, that doing it, the pandemic and all this kind of stuff, man, it got people kind of taken aback with the new sex anyway.
Yeah,
man.
But I'm saying we're letting like I say we need sex education because we're letting our youth, specifically ours. I'm not gonna speak to these other cultures. We're letting our youth get information from not the right place to do it. A lot of dudes, their first exposure to sex is porn.
Yeah.
I grew up with a lot of dudes that thought the pull-out method was going to save them for the rest of their life. Guess what, Dad? They're 27. They have 4 kids and can't pull out of a driveway.
Yeah, pull-out game is weak.
Can't pull out of a driveway.
Because that good, man, that good to make your pull-out game
work. I went to school with a lot of girls that were pregnant and in their freshman and sophomore years.
Wow, yeah. We did in my time, man, it was rare to see that.
And if I sound insensitive, I don't mean to because that's just going to happen anyway. You can still be safe and things just going to happen.
Right.
But I do think we need to talk better and talk more about sex within our community so we can just stop shit like this. We can just be better as a whole.
Yeah.
This isn't unique to the black community.
No.
I'm just speaking to the black community because of what I saw. I didn't grow up with white people. I just went to college with them, and they're every bit as bad as we say they are.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, in my community, you got a lot of dudes thinking you just ram it.
Right. Hey, my day, it was not like that, man. In my day, man, we used to carry moist towelettes in our pockets instead of condoms, man. We ran into chicken wings before sex. You know what I mean? We didn't have to worry about that shit. Okay. I'm just saying, man, it was a trip to see a girl dress when I was a young cat, man. And now due to videos and porn and social media and peer pressure and the things that our young people are exposed to, they definitely need adult supervision. All right? Before they make that big move, man, because we got a lot of babies with babies out here, man.
That's what I'm saying. I think with our community, we need to just do better about being more informed. And that will also double down with the toxic masculinity that a lot of us black men carry. But that's a different episode. Or did we do that already?
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
a lot of black dudes are just like, hey, you hit once? Psh, that don't really count.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Hey, right.
Or they'll think
Hey.
like 15 and don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me when I say this. Matter of fact, I'm gonna mute your mic because I know you're gonna laugh at me when I say this. But you got a lot of dudes out here that just hop from chick to chick, no wash. I'll mute your mic. I know my hygiene as a child wasn't very good. As an adult, I'm pretty good now. But you got a lot of dudes out here hop from chick to chick, no wash.
Chick with no wash.
They'll hit at night and then wake up with dusty balls talking about some round two.
Oh,
nigga,
man.
no, please.
That is awesome, man. You know what? I don't know why I equated this, and I'm just going to give you a straight shout out when you were talking about sex and all this and everything. And listen, one has nothing to do with the other, but to all the ladies in the place with style and grace, that's another Biggie line, baby.
He's gonna call it a big
I
show.
just want to give you, because I don't think we'll be back on before this day arrives, but to all of you, happy Valentine's Day, okay? Happy Valentine's Day.
That's next week, ain't it?
Sometime next week.
Oh, you're reminding me to go ahead and put in an order for the
man. Put in an order, man. Get. I don't know what kind of chocolate they dipping these strawberries in, man. But $55 for 6 of them, man, is crazy. But I'm telling you, ladies, there are good men out here. Men, there are good ladies out here. Don't act like, because hey, if you can't find a good lady or a good man, you got to check out what circles you hanging in. All right, you might go to different places, man. All right, because you. Like Eddie Murphy used to say on Saturday Night Live, you looking for nub. You not looking for love, man. You looking for nub, baby, because you hanging in all the wrong places, all right? So change the game a little bit, expand your knowledge. Expand knowledge of self, all right? Educate yourself, all right? It's still not too late, and that's what I'm here to get the message to the people.
Get the message to the people.
That's my sole reason for being here, man, is I'm trying to get the message to the people, all right? Now, I'm going to stop ranting and preaching to you, and we're going to move on.
It's your podcast. You do what you want.
All right, thank you.
But I'm off crapping on black people in the year of our Lord on Black History Month.
No, we got to, man. We have to,
but
because
saying, like I see too many I see too many men my age run around saying uneducated things. And what they don't realize is that young black men see these things and they realize that to be true. When you're a young, impressionable man and you don't really have sex, you think that's what it's supposed to be like. And then you grow up treating women like a piece of meat. You grow up thinking that you're not a real man if you ain't bagged 9 girls by the time you turn like 22.
Right.
You see women as just numbers.
Right,
and
for sure.
That's a problem.
Ain't nothing out here. Ain't nothing out here but hidden agendas, fake smiles, and real hate.
Like we got to be better about that. We just got to be better.
I hope so.
And I can already see it. Oh, I bet if I put this on YouTube, some dude's gonna tweet me. Nice talk, bro. She still ain't gonna let you hit. I can see it. I see it.
Right.
Every time.
Hitting is the one thing that's the defining line of whether you should be in a relationship. Apparently,
every time you jump to the defense of black women, some dude's like, she still ain't gonna let you hit.
Right.
All right,
my boy used to hit that. All right. My boy used to hit that. Oh, yeah.
Can you tell I hate dating podcasts? Oh, I hate them so much.
I must, because I don't listen. All right?
I hate dating podcasts.
I don't listen to dating podcasts.
All they do is be like, why women want to do it with money? I got style. Why she just want my pockets? I'm like, bro, you work at AutoZone.
Well,
relax.
Right. Hey, see? Now that brings up a future podcast. That brings up a future podcast. You know what? We have to put this in our next pre-production meeting is to, brothers have this incessant need to shine. Okay? You know that.
I can answer that for you right now. It all goes back
to slavery, man. We came over here in chains, and we shall remain in chains.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, some of these young guys, their incessant need to shine is to attract the opposite sex.
Oh, man. The amount men do with the specificity of trying to get cheeks is almost astounding.
Woo.
It's a oh dang! I feel like that sounded pretentious, but
Wow,
specificity
check
just
out
came
that
off the
big
dome.
brain on have.
Yes,
Man.
I read my thesaurus today. Um, the amount that men do to get attention is just nuts.
Yeah, man.
Remember
You
when
have
Hummers
to.
and spinning rims was the thing?
Oh, for sure, for
You
sure.
was outside when that happened.
Yeah, for sure. That was my. Oh man, that was when he
You
was.
was that was your prime.
When it do, yeah, for sure. I couldn't get the Hummer with the spinning rims, but I damn sure got the Suburban with the 24s on it. You know what I mean? You my incessant need
With the
to shine.
Kenwoods in the back.
Oh
What?
man, banging.
What?
I'm banging out. I want you to look. Look it over here. Hey, look at me. Look at me. You know what I mean? That's why you never be. That's why black dudes never really be rich. You know what I mean? Because you spend your money on objects and things like that. But you got to get the girl. The girl's not going to be looking at the guy that's saving his bag, driving the 4-door economy car. You know what I mean? So it's a double-edged sword right there, man. What do I do to get the girl? The girl's not looking at me like that. All right, so we're gonna save that for our next meeting, man.
That's gonna be like a whole day. If we do that, we have to have a woman present.
Oh, I agree, man.
So
We got to call, man.
I will make a compromise, but we need to have a black woman physically present for this, not your wife.
Not wife.
I say
No,
your
no,
wife. That's my
no.
mom.
No.
No, we need a black woman physically present
not,
for that.
Oh, I wish I could have.
Because if we do that, everything is in good faith. We're not bringing in some lady to attack her and be like, and hold all of our grievances with black women against her.
Yes.
One
I
time
agree.
in the 8th grade, I tried to holler at Mariah. She told me no. Explain that. I was a good dude. I was a good dude.
Yeah, man.
Stop it. We're
Yeah,
not doing
I
that.
hear you, man.
But
I hear you.
I guess closing this one out, this can take as much time as it needs. Yay or nay on Black History Month? I want to know what you're thinking about it.
Man, I'm so done. I am so over Black History Month. I don't know what to do, man.
My goodness, really
For
now.
you to relegate the history of the black man in the United States of America to the shortest calendar month in the year is degrading in itself. All right? Do not think you're going to celebrate my history with a month. Do you have Jewish History Month? Do you have Hungarian History Month? How about let's have German History Month. See where that takes us.
They do have those nationality culture festivals.
Okay, yeah, no, but make it a big deal and have commercials showing the Gestapo and the Hitler's party in German History Month. You know what I mean? Sieg Heil. So that. Okay, see how that goes over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As I get older, the mere thought of a Black History Month is almost as degrading as nigga.
Really now?
Yes,
What
I don't like it.
Makes you say that though? Outside of the point you just mentioned.
Outside of the point, outside of the point I just said, I'm going to go back over it again. For you to relegate the black culture into a month and then try to pack it away like your winter gear when March hits here, all right, it's degrading to me. So I don't really recognize Black History Month. I have some white friends, and and we keep it a buck with one another. We do, man. I love them. They know how I feel about them because we keep it a buck. They don't say the N-word around me. I know they use it at home. Somebody they know uses that word at home, but we don't say it around. They don't say it around me. All right? But we keep it a buck, okay, when we're around one another. They call out black people for some of their shady ways, and I call out white people for their shady ways, man. And they realize it is what it is. People are different. People are strange. And we can get along because you go in your house and shut your door. I'll go in my house and shut my door, okay? But when we get out, we can act civilized. We can connect. We can talk about current events. We can listen to one's culture and history and thought process, something different than what we are used to, All right? You're not supposed to just, it's all kinds of people out here in this world. All right? You can get different views on different topics that will open up your eyes. I think that's called learning, experience. All right? Get some of that. All right? You don't have to, they don't have to love me. I don't have to love them. But we get along. It sounds so cliche-ish, but we get along. And we can get along. As blacks, we need to get along with one another. I'm ashamed to say I get along with some whites better than I get along with some blacks, because we run around all day grimming each other. You know what I mean? We don't want to hold the door open for one another because it looks weak. We don't want to say thank you when somebody lets us in traffic because it looks weak. All right? We have to get out of that shit.
I'll tell you why. It all goes back.
Man, I'm telling you. You know what's funny? I used to tell you that as a younger man, and you used to look at me and say, that's not true.
Yeah, I was young.
Yeah, good. I'm glad. I'm glad that you can kind of see that.
I realize that, well, I would, because I was a big history person, but I didn't understand the concept of generational trauma quite yet.
Okay.
Like, if you were to tell me at 16, hey, Evan, the reason that your parents make you come inside the house because when the streetlights come on is because we were hunted down in sundown towns, I'd have been like, Dad, what are you talking about? But 28 me is like, oh, that makes perfect sense.
Oh, for sure. Don't get caught outside when it's dark. You know
when
what?
You say that black on black crime is a thing, and we don't, and like a lot of blacks look at each other like we have to compete. If you told me at 16 that was because of slavery, I'd be like, Dad, what are you talking about? But then I realized that redlining was a thing, and they would only give blacks houses in a certain area, in the areas that already had limited resources. And blacks, if we couldn't go get a job for it, we had to go robbing for it. And that kind of just internalized, like, dudes out here looking to line me up when I'm going to the Sunoco to get a fill up.
For sure. So like, you don't want to stay next to the criminal. So that must mean I want to stay next to the criminal.
At 28, I'm like, oh, that makes perfect sense.
Oh, I want to stay next door to the criminal because you won't let him live out there. All right.
Oh my God. I don't know what happened to make suburbs a thing, but I know what happened. The invention of the freeway. All these things are connected.
Shout out to Black Bottom.
The whole point I was going to bring up today was a lot of things aren't conspiracies, but then a lot of history is just as depressing as you think it is. All this is connected, and it all goes back
to slavery. It all goes back to slavery. And so
when I look at the history of other countries, and at this, I'm going to land my plane in just a hot second. I'm going to give the floor back to you because you got the A mic today. When I look at the history of other countries about how they deal with racism, it's a lot different than how we deal with it here. Like England and Spain and France, they deal with it differently because they went to Africa, took the resources, and a lot of African citizens went back up there willingly.
Mm-hmm.
They had slaves in territories across the world. They didn't bring slaves in France or Spain. They brought slaves to build America. And then when slavery was abolished, you had 400 years of people that had no idea where they came from.
Absolutely.
They had no idea where their families were.
Right. Still don't.
And mind you, here's how short history really is. Like African nations, I'm just going to name a couple off the top of my head. Think about it like this. Zimbabwe, Congo, Nigeria, Egypt. Got you?
Got you.
I'm going to land my plane in a hot second. When these people were taken from those areas, those little borders and nations didn't exist yet. It was still tribes.
Absolutely.
Like white people drew those borders specifically for white people's benefit. Belgium was like, all right, Libya, yeah, that's ours. They're like, what the fuck is Libya? They were like, that's what we're calling it.
Yeah, for sure. They were just tribes, yeah.
So if you tell somebody who just got freed, it's like, okay, you can go to Nigeria. Huh?
Right, yeah. That's absolutely right.
Like, those are two completely separate things. And if I'm getting the timing off a little bit, then yeah, sure. But like when you tell black people, go back where they came from. What are you talking about?
Go back to your turf.
They don't know what tribe they came from because you refused, because you were just like, hey, you mentioned that word. Your name is Toby.
Right, for sure. You know what? That will be a point I'll bring up to something. That is nice. That's a great point.
It all goes back.
It all goes back.
Slavery. So yeah, America's history with racism is very complicated because we had to stay here.
Yeah.
And most of us went right back to sharecropping.
Yeah.
I say sharecropping. We
Well, same thing.
instead of picking cotton for free, we picked cotton for like a couple pennies.
And listen, and what's funny is about slavery, when slavery ended, I want to recommend something that people watch. All right?
Oh,
Because if it doesn't really, if you don't really know how it goes back to slavery, let me tell you how slavery transitioned into this pseudo citizenship that we all enjoy as second class citizens, 3/5 a person. You know what I mean? We had people planning out our lives, presidents of United States, future presidents, politicians, all slave owners, all right, making laws, and they wonder why, okay? But right after slavery was abolished, I want you to know about Amendment 13, the 13th Amendment, all right, that said that we couldn't have slaves, but we can make money and profit off your confinement, all right? Read a little bit, learn about your history, learn about your culture and where you are and how we came to be, and the position and the predicament, some might say, that black people are in right now. Because there's time to save yourselves, all right? But it starts with the man in the mirror, all right? With that, like my son said, I'm going to land that plane right there, all right? I'm going to land that plane and park it, all right?
Looks like we got us an episode.
All right.
I'm yay on Black History Month.
Okay. Yeah. Forget that
it's
shit.
It's just that it's so often ignored. That
Yeah.
kind of frustrates me.
You can ignore that.
They could do a much better job.
You could have Black History Year.
I tell you, actually, I can land my plane right now. Black history is American history.
Absolutely.
If
you know
we
what I
didn't
mean?
get omitted from all the other months of the year you teach history, you wouldn't need to have a Black History Month.
Man, let me tell you
I swear
something.
to God, they're just like, hey, name a good black person. Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, and Booker T. Washington.
That's all you got there. That's all you got. All right. You know what?
Swear to
Because in Black history, in my Black history, I could go Edward
and
Lewis.
George Washington Carver.
I could go Edward Lewis Sr., Edward Lewis Jr. Okay? I can tell you about two guys that monumental
George
in my
Washington
Black
Carver
history.
did things with the peanuts. Don't degrade him. He
He
was
was
a botanist.
You know what? They castrated him when he was a kid.
Sorry, what?
Yeah. Yeah, man. You didn't know about the story.
I should just let you land the plane.
Yeah,
pressed
man.
again.
Yeah, man. They castrated that young man, man.
I should just let the plane be on the runway.
Man, look, this kid,
back up.
man. And he went to school, man, and he went to school in a white community, man. They castrated that man as a youngster, man. So worried about black genitalia, man. They castrated this kid, man. A lot of people didn't know about that, but like I said, one couple of these days, you pick up a book and just learn about your culture and your history, and then you stand up on your own too, 10 toes down, all right? And you don't have to be a racist. You don't have to hate white people. You just have to stand up and be a man yourself, okay? All right, because everything, like he said, is not a conspiracy. True, most things are, okay? But given the fact that you are here and you have to live, all right, you might as well make the best of it. Stop blaming everybody else for your problems, all right? Those things are known as excuses, all right? Stand up, 10 toes down. Get at it. I'm out.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Whaddup Doe with Junior and Seer. All right. Like, subscribe, rate us. I am Junior. And
I am Senior.
And we are here to do what?
Get the message to the people.
I enjoy how I should have expected this to become a Blackity Black episode. I should have expected it. I should have, but I didn't. This became an episode. I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm Blackity
Black like that, y'all.
Anyway, thank you guys for listening. That's all we got for you today. Stay safe out there. Enjoy your Super Bowl Sunday. Enjoy your Valentine's
Go
Day.
Lions. I mean, Matt Stafford.
All right, enough of you. Protect black women.
Oh, nice. Nice, Andy.
And enjoy your weekends, everybody. Stay safe out there. That's that.
That edit should